Okay, geometry, this is one more little thing that I want you to do before we start reviewing for chapter 10. And it's just kind of focusing on area of the two-dimensional figures, the ones that you should memorize, the formulas that you should memorize before the test. And so we're going to write the formulas together up here at the top, and then you're going to be doing some measuring. So you're going to have to find my rulers in my room. Don't use a yardstick because this is going to be really hard if you use a yardstick. But the rulers in my room should be over, I don't know, on one of my shelves in like the little container that I usually have my calculators in. There's some white ones in there, and there's maybe some on my desk. So you're going to have to steal some of them. Don't take them out of my room. Try to get your measurements done during class because the other section of the class will need those rulers. So get your measurements done and then maybe do your calculations after that. But what you'll do is we're going to go through and I'll help you do the first one, measure the first one at least. But to get you an idea, 1 through 6 is what we'll do. And you'll do all of them, but you're doing the measuring of the dimensions that you need to find the area of each of these shapes. Okay. So for each one of these, let's go through and write the formulas in. So again, these are the ones that you're going to have memorized. Parallelogram is just kind of the same as a rectangle or a square. Base times height. Triangle is base times height divided by 2 for the area, or you can say 1/2 base times height. Either one for that, for a triangle. Let me fix that. Trapezoid. The trapezoid is technically base times height, but in a trapezoid like this figure right here, you have 2 bases. So when you're doing that, you are averaging the 2 bases together. So when you average 2 bases, it's like the 2 bases added together and divided by 2, okay? And then you're taking that base times the height, okay? And a lot of times they'll have this formula written as 1/2. Let me write the area first. Area equals 1/2 height times base 1 plus base 2. But just know that like base 1 plus base 2 times 1/2, that's just saying the average of the 2 bases times the height. And so that's the area for trapezoid, okay? That's kind of how he works out. All right, rhombus kite is, we'll put him down here. Area equals, it is half of the first diagonal times the second diagonal. And it really doesn't matter which diagonal it goes first, in order of your formula, 1/2 d1 d2. Circle area is pi r squared, okay? And so those are the formulas that you will need to have memorized. Some of them are a little bit trickier than others. Some of them you already know, or should already know. What I want you to do on 1 through 6 is to make the necessary measurements that you need to in order to find the area, and then go ahead and do the area. Make sure that you are measuring in centimeters, because inches, you won't get quite down to the precise measurements. So like a number one is a kite. So we're going to use 1/2 d1 d2. And I'm not going to do the calculation for you. But when we're measuring, so d1, d2, we'll have to measure this diagonal from here to here. And if I'm going to use I have a sheet of paper here that has this exact thing on it. If I measure in centimeters, do this as well so you can check my answer. I think across here is 4 centimeters. And then if I go from here to here, like the long diagonal, that's going to be 4.5 centimeters. Okay, so one diagonal is 4, one diagonal is 4.5, and then plug those in, and then you can find the area. So those are the necessary measurements that we need. You don't have to measure like these distances around here to find the perimeter or anything like that. You're just finding area. And so do that for each one of these. Now, this is not going to take you very long to do, probably. So what I want you to do after you're done with this, see if Mrs. Olson will give you the chapter 10 review. It's like 15 problems. The chapter 10 review for this chapter, and get that from her, and you can start working on those problems. And then tomorrow I will go through the answers with you, so you can kind of get a head start on that, working through those problems, okay? All right, that's all I have for today.